I'm so obsessed with the new cup. I have to go get one right now in every color. How does he get anything done with that mess? I am way too OCD. I have to have everything in order.
Do these scenarios sound familiar? Have you ever felt a little OCD at times? Something's on your mind and you can't stop thinking about it? I mean, we're all a little OCD, right? Well, not really. Just ask Howie Mandel. From his earlier days as a doctor on St. Elsewhere, writing and voicing two main characters in his animated cartoon Bobby's World, to hosting Deal or No Deal, and eventually casting his vote as a judge on America's Got Talent. Howie Mandel has made a successful career out of being funny and full of life. But what many people didn't know was Howie was full of anxiety about the world around him. Howie Mandel's family were very familiar with his fears about germs. At home, Mandel insisted that his wife and children spray everything with disinfectant, and he would routinely get rid of his children's toys that touched the ground. Finally, his wife and high school sweetheart gave Mandel an ultimatum that he had to seek treatment for whatever was going on, or he would need to separate from his family. That was the push that led Howie Mandel to seek therapy, where he was finally diagnosed with OCD and eventually ADHD in his late 40s, and would lead him to undergo different types of therapies that helped him find strategies to work through his obsessive compulsions that were threatening to ruin his relationships and eventually his career. Mandel now uses his well-known fist bump instead of shaking hands as a coping mechanism. OCD stands for Obsessive Compulsive Disorder. According to the American Psychological Association, OCD is a disorder where individuals have recurring and unwanted thoughts, ideas, or sensations, which are obsessions. To get rid of these thoughts, these individuals feel compelled to do something repetitively. This can range from, but is not exclusive to, repeated hand washing, to checking on things, and even repeated counting. These thoughts and activities significantly interfere with a person's daily activities and social interactions. Many individuals with OCD tend to avoid situations or places that cause them distress or will trigger their obsessions and compulsions. For a person to be diagnosed with OCD, unwanted thoughts and being compelled to do something about those thoughts must be time-consuming for more than 1 hour a day, cause significant stress, and impair work or social functioning. OCD affects 2 to 3% of people in the United States and about 2% of the world population, which is 70 million people. OCD equally affects men, women, children of all races, ethnicities, and backgrounds. OCD can also begin at any age, but typically symptoms appear during 2 age ranges, 8 to 12 years of age, and between the late teen years and early adulthood. So if you can't stop thinking about the latest trend, or you need to have your workspace organized in order to work, does this mean you have OCD? Probably not. Many people have recurring thoughts and repetitive behaviors, or appreciate things in an orderly fashion. But if these thoughts and behaviors do not interfere with you completing your daily tasks or social interactions and relationships, then they are not considered OCD. It is important to note that OCD, like many other mental health disorders, is more complicated than a checklist of symptoms. If you feel that you are struggling with obtrusive thoughts or compulsions that may not fit the criteria for OCD, you may still benefit from therapy to determine what may be beneficial for your mental and overall health. So please be encouraged to seek help from a mental health professional. The exact cause of OCD is not yet known, although the current understanding is that OCD is caused by biological changes in the brain's chemistry, genetics, illness, stressful life events, substance abuse, and even learning OCD behaviors from watching family members with OCD. The most effective therapy for OCD is cognitive behavior therapy, particularly a type of CBT called exposure and response prevention, or ERP. Exposure and response prevention is designed to gradually reduce the anxiety that feeds obsessions and compulsions. Often therapy is paired with a class of medications called SRIs, but not in every case. OCD can present challenges in the workplace, such as employees struggling to complete tasks, or if an employee feels the need to avoid a task or situation. However, employees with OCD tend to be very empathetic and pay close attention to details, which are both beneficial qualities in the workplace. Again, like other mental health challenges in the workplace, open communication between employers and employees will be most beneficial for all. However, employees with OCD may feel uncomfortable divulging their diagnosis. Paul Wolf understands this feeling very well. He had been living with OCD for 15 years, but had not disclosed his diagnosis at work. However, during the pandemic, while working as the Chief Human Resources Officer for Indeed, Paul's anxiety and OCD behaviors became exacerbated. Working virtually increased his anxiety and was causing additional barriers between him and other employees. So Paul decided it was time to disclose his diagnosis to 12,000 employees. This extreme openness is not required by those with OCD. However, almost instantly, Paul received hundreds of messages from fellow employees thanking him for his vulnerability and sharing their own mental health struggles. Creating and maintaining a culture of openness and understanding allows all employees to share their struggles, celebrate their victories, and grow in success at work, at home, and in life.